Hi, you're welcome to Johnson Praise TV. This is your digital classroom. I'm so excited to walk you through the episode 2 of our Pasco review. This video is going to be a strategic video, meaning it's going to help you in diverse way, helping you in your exams journey, okay? But most of the things we'll be doing is about the feeling, okay? How to answer feeling questions. I realize the IA, most of you have challenges with the feeling, so I'm going to walk you through how you can answer feeling questions in these exams. And also we'll not only do feeling, but there are about 50 feelings that we are coming to do, and also we'll do about 20 multiple choice, making 70 questions in all. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and also check the link in my under my comment section, and that will lead you to our WhatsApp channel. So without really wasting much time, these are the things we are going to do. So in the morning, that's the part 1. It was all about, the episode 1 was all about the questions, okay, the likely exams questions. And also I've released videos on session, that is part I have part 4, part 5 already on my channel, so you can watch these videos too and add this one to the videos I've already released. That's the episode are for your exams, and then the part was for your IA, but you need to pay attention to the part 4 and then the part 5. It's going to help you a lot. So I believe when we do all these things, trust me, we'll be able to have our way out. So this is where we ended. Let's now continue. So explain why falsifiability is valuable to the empirical scientist. So we are coming to explain why falsifiability is valuable to the empirical scientist. So I want to say something is falsifiability means what? Ability for a sentence to be false, okay? So it's a sign that the statement is scientific and it is valued by what? The scientist or the empirical scientist. So falsifiability is valuable to the empirical scientist because it ensures that the scientific statement can be subjected to rigorous testing and potential refutation. So it is easy for the scientist to refute it. If you give the scientist a tautology like either you are pregnant or not pregnant, this statement is tautology, because it is it can never be false, right? This statement can never be false. You call it tautology. Or if I say that it's either you are schooling or you are not schooling, this is a statement. There is no way you can falsify this statement. So it is less valuable to the empirical scientist. That is, the tautology is less valuable to the empirical scientist. But statements that are easily to be falsified, okay, and then such statements are more valuable to the empirical scientists, okay? So that's why falsifiability are valuable to the empirical scientists, right? So this means that the scientists can devise experiment or gather data that could potentially contradict the hypothesis, right? So let's move on to the next one. Explain the predictive power of a scientific statement and show which type of scientific statement has more value. So we are coming to look at how we can explain the predictive power of scientific statement and how they have more value. So scientific statement with higher predictive power are more valuable because they are accurately forecast. They can accurately forecast future observation based on existing knowledge. So this predictive ability allows scientists to test and verify statement through empirical observations and experiments. So the statement can make a precise prediction and contribute to the development of the theories and models, leading to a deeper insight into the natural phenomenon and advancement in the various fields of science. So this is it. So that is why the predictive power of scientific statements are more has more value, okay? it has more value because the scientists value so those ones. Let's look at the 68. 68. What is the hidden premise in the argument? No, no mother is male, therefore Kofi is not a mother. So we are coming to look at the missing premise. They will give you problems like this and they expect you to solve them. So I'm already giving it. So already they are giving you what? They are giving you the conclusion and the premise, and they want you to provide a missing premise. So we say that if Kofi is a mother, then he is not a male. Kofi is a male, therefore Kofi is not a mother. Okay, so Kofi is a male becomes what the missing premise here. So when they ask you, don't go and write everything for them. You only provide what the missing premise, which is what Kofi is a male. That's why most of you have been getting the feelings wrong. Okay, the feeling when you are writing, you have to take your time. But if they expect you to write everything, right? But if they want you to provide only the missing premise, just give the missing premise and go your way. You don't have time on your side. And number 69, briefly explain why confirmation is not a proof. So we are coming to look at why confirmation is not a proof. So confirmation provides support for what? For a conclusion, but does not offer a definitive proof because it relies on evidence that is limited in scope or context. So while confirmation may increase confidence in the conclusion, it does not eliminate the possibility of alternative explanation or future contradictory evidence. So proof on other hand requires refutable evidence that exclusively establishes the truth of a statement or preposition beyond a doubt. So confirmation is an important aspect of reasoning process, and it does not guarantee absolute certainty. So confirmation is not proof. Okay, no matter the how do you call it, the level of predictive power a sentence has, it can never people can actually refute such statement. Okay, despite the fact that the statement is it has a high predictive power, it can be refuted. Okay, so confirmation is never a proof, right? Confirmation is not proof. Okay, so it is not proof because it does not offer a definite proof, or because it relies on evidence that is limited in the scope of context. In the scope or context. So that is it. Let's look at number 70. Why is an argument based on sampling described as an inductive? So argument that is based on sampling, why do we describe such statement as an inductive argument? So an argument based on sampling is described as an inductive because it draws a general conclusion about a population based on a sample taken from that population. So inductive reasoning involves moving from a specific observation to generalizations or patterns, and sampling is a method used to gather specific observation or data and point from a larger population. So by analyzing the sample, an inductive reasoning attempt to infer characteristics or properties and apply to the entire population, right? So that is it. So that is a little explanation. You can also delve more. You can also do your own go through, read your slides and try to get more understanding about this concept well. Okay, that is also, but when they ask you, at least with these things that you are doing, it should guide you in answering some of the questions. All right, let's look at number 71. Empirical scientists are also of the view that uncertainty is a virtue. Why? Empirical scientists are of the view that uncertainty is a virtue. Why? So uncertainty is seen as what? So let's look at it. So why are they of the view that uncertainty is a virtue? So uncertainty is seen as what? As good thing by empirical scientists because it keeps them curious and open-minded. Okay, so when scientists accept that they don't know anything, it motivates them to explore. Okay, so explore questions and learn more. Embracing uncertainty helps scientists to stay humble and focus on finding better answers through careful research and observation. So uncertainty is it's a virtue for the empirical scientists, okay, if the thing is already known, okay, especially as statistical hypothesis like this, it becomes difficult for the scientists to falsify such statement. But if it is what, if the statement is what is also tautology, it becomes difficult, okay, for the scientists to falsify that statement. But in an event whereby what there's an uncertainty, right, it becomes so what easy for the scientists to do more research and then come up with that one. If someone tells you that the earth is what conical in shape, the scientists can do a research, okay, and they refute it. So the scientists, they are more interested in what general statement, okay, statement that someone is that one, it becomes easy for them to refute it. When they go through, they do their research and they realize that there's the earth is not conical in shape, then they can come and refute it, okay. So that's why they are interested in what such statement. Do you get it? So let's move on to the next one. That is what number 72. So number 72 says what universal scientific statement raise problem of certainty for empirical scientists. Explain why. So the question is that universal scientific statement raise problems of certainty for empirical scientists. Why? Let's look at it. So universal scientific statement poses a challenge for empirical scientists because they claim to apply to all instances of a certain phenomenon. However, empirical scientists rely on observations and experimentation, which can never cover every possible case. So this limitation means that empirical scientists cannot be completely certain about the validity of a universal statement, right? Additionally, new evidence or observations may arise in the future and could contradict these universal statement, leading to revisions or refinement in scientific understanding. Okay, so therefore the uncertainty inherent is in empirical science makes it difficult to assert absolute certainty about the universal scientific statement. Let's look at number 73. Why are analogies, causal argument, and enumeration argument and argument based on sampling not topic neutral? So why are analogies, causal argument, enumeration, inductions, and argument based on sampling not topic neutral? So analogies, causal argument, enumeration, inductions, and argument based on sampling are not topic neutral because they rely on specific context, situation, or examples to make their point. So when you write this, you are good to go. You can say that they rely on they rely on specific context, situations, or examples to make their point. Unlike deductive reasoning, which operates solely on logical relationship between the premises and conclusion, these types of argument draw upon a real world observation, comparison, and abuse and effect relationship. Okay, as a result, the validity and applicability depend heavily on the particular circumstances or context being discussed. So the lack of topic neutral means that this type of argument may not be universally applicable and may require careful consideration of the specific context in which they are used. 74. Construct two testable arguments which are both verifiable but have different degrees of empirical content. Clearly distinguish the one with a higher empirical content from the other. So this one we are going to do is, so now let's look at this one. It says that the one with empirical content. So let's look at this. It says so statement 1, sunlight. Okay, statement 1 says that sunlight exposure reduces vitamin D deficiency. Okay, so this has a higher empirical content. Okay, it has higher empirical content. Okay, so daily measurement outcome with vitamin D in response to the specific action. So this is it's what it has high empirical content. When you say the sunlight exposure reduces what vitamin D deficiency, it has high empirical content. Let's look at the second one. You say that when you say that positive thinking improves well-being. Positive thinking improves what? Well-being. It has low empirical content because the subject constructs what? Positive thinking and then well-being. That may be what? May be challenging to measure objectively. So that is it. So now let's look at 75. From our discussion of Unit 7, explain why falsifiability is a virtue in empirical science. Okay, so you have to explain why falsifiability is a virtue in empirical science. So falsifiability is a virtue in empirical science because it ensures that scientific claims can be tested and potentially proven wrong. So this means that hypotheses may be formulated in a way that allows for the possibility of empirical relevance and could refute them by subjecting hypothesis and potential falsification. Scientists can rigorously test their validity and refine their understanding of natural phenomena, right? So let's do some quiz here. Now in induction, the more certain I am that I have proven it. So he said that induction, the more certain I am that I have proven it. Briefly assess the statement in the context of our discussion in Unit 7. So you have to do this. We did this one in the episode 1. So if you have not gone through it, you can take your time and then and do that, right? Let's look at the okay. So the next one, the second quiz is that 2 out of 10 academics. Okay, so two out of 10 academics are inclined, right? So lecturers are academics, so we have good reasons to believe that lecturers are detailed inclined. So it is is the given discourse an argument or not. So if an argument, which type of argument is it, and if not an argument, to which type of discourse is this? So this one we'll try and then do it together. So it says 2 out of 10 academics are detail inclined. Lecturers are academics, so they have good reasons to believe that lecturers are detailed inclined, right? So let's look at it. This is the explanations to the question. Try question 2. So it is this is an argument, okay, and it is an inductive argument based on conclusion, based on because the conclusion can be false without any contradiction. All right. However, the reasons may be may use to support the claim or not. The reasons may be used to support the claim or not good because it is only 2 out of the academics who are detail inclined. So this one, that is the whole thing. So let's move on. Number 78. A type of argument whose conclusion is certain if the premises were to be true is called a deductive argument. This is what we call a deductive argument. Number 79. Assess the following argument for validity and soundness. Fruit are edible. My school bag is a fruit. So my bag must be edible. So this argument is valid, but it is not sound. Okay, when you say that fruit are edible, yes, it is true statement. Say my school bag is a fruit. Yes, it is also, we assume that it is true. Therefore, my school bag must be edible. It is valid, but it is not sound. In reality, when they say something is sound, it means that it has to be true in reality. We know that bags are not edible. We don't eat bag, right? So it is unsound, but valid. Let's look at number 80. Politicians are corrupt. Defensive people are likewise corrupt. So politicians are defensive. this is an example of what? A false hypothetical syllogism. It's a false hypothetical syllogism because it doesn't follow the normal pattern for hypothetical syllogism. Hypothetical syllogism, the formula says that A is equal to what? B, C is equal to B, C is equal to what? That's a C is equal to what? A, therefore C is equal to what? B. I think I'll confirm the formula for you. I'll confirm the formula, but the pattern that has been given here doesn't follow the hypothetical syllogism. Okay, it is the opposite way. So if you get an argument and it is the opposite way, then it becomes what? The fallacy. Do you get it? So that's why we have the fallacy. So the false hypothetical syllogism is what? The negative one. Number 81. A syllogism has what? Premises and conclusion. So 81. A syllogism has dash what? Premises and conclusion. So syllogism has what? Has two premises and one conclusion. Do you get it? So when they ask you this, you should be able to tell that a syllogism has what? One conclusion. Two premises and one conclusion. With the exception of what? The antinomy, which are what? Which are only having one premises and one conclusion. Okay, but don't go and provide these things there. Just tell them mostly all the syllogisms are they are having two premises and then a conclusion. So number 82, the antecedent of the statement "no politician is corrupt" is what? Which one is the antecedent? The antecedent is what? The politician. So politician is the antecedent. So you see how I've provided my answer. Yes, that's what they expect from you. Number 83, affirming the antecedent is another way of describing. Which one are we talking about? It is what? Modus ponens. 84. The company collapsed because it engaged in wrong investment. What is the conclusion of this argument? The argument is, so the conclusion is what? The company collapsed. The company collapsed. You get it? The company collapsed. That is what the conclusion. Number 85. What is the consequence of the universal negation? No humans can fly. All right, so the consequence becomes what? Fly, right? No human fly. So the consequence is what? Fly. And then the antecedent is what? Human. Okay, human is the antecedent and then fly is what? The consequence. Number 86. All mangoes are fruit. My pen is not a mango, so it is not a fruit. State the former fallacy committed. This is what? A fallacy of denying the antecedent. Please make sure you master all these things. I have a video on the syllogistic fallacy, so if you don't understand, you can watch those videos and they will help you a lot. Right? Yes, so you can check these things. Number 87. A syllogism has dash premises and dash conclusion. It has what? It has two premises and then one conclusion. Okay, let me check this question that we solved. I don't know if I provided. Okay, so I think it's the same question that they asked us here. Number 88. The antecedent of a statement, "no politician is corrupt." No politician is corrupt is affirming the antecedent. Okay, another way of what? Describing it. So let's take it like the question is saying that the antecedent of the statement, "no politician is corrupt," is affirming the antecedent. Is another way of describing what? The answer is what? The antecedent of the statement, "no politician is corrupt," is what? The politician. Okay, the antecedent is the politician. It is the affirming the what? The antecedent in the way of what? Describing modus ponens. It is a way of describing what? Modus ponens. Number 89. Construct your own example of any syllogistic argument apart from the disjunctive syllogism and hypothetical syllogism using what? Variables A, B, and X. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. So we say that the premise one is that all human beings are mortals. Socrates is a human being, which is our B. So, and then with the conclusion, we say that Socrates is what? A mortal. That is what? That is it. Number 90. Create a strong induction. Create a strong induction argument and explain why you label it as such. Okay, so we are going to create what? Two strong argument and explain why we label it as such. So this is what we are going to do. So this is my explanation to this question. So two independent witnesses claim they saw John commit the murder. John fingerprints also were found on the murder weapon. So John finally confessed to the crime. Therefore, John is a murderer. So you see, this is what a strong induction, because it has given you enough reasons to believe that the conclusion is true by saying that John, two independent witnesses claimed they saw John commit the murder, and John himself came to attest to the fact that he killed the person. Okay, and aside that, to the deed test and his blood, okay, or his hand, they realized that he has also touched that murder weapon. So it is having enough evidence. But despite the enough evidence, or the evidences that the statement contains, it can still be false. It could be that John was taken into hostage, and he was asked to provide this kind of information, okay, or probably they threatened him that if he say the truth, they'll kill him. So he was forced to say all these things. So inductive reasoning, in an inductive reasoning, no matter the evidences you provide, it can still be false. Everybody can believe this argument, but John's mother can come and say that he didn't train his son this way, so his son doesn't know how to kill, no matter what. And the statement can never be true. So it is a strong induction, but it can be falsified. Do you get it? Let's move on. Number 90. Or let me give you another one. 99% of Americans speak English. Elon Musk is an American. Therefore, Elon Musk speaks English. You see, despite the fact that 99% of Americans Americans speak English, even though Elon Musk is also American, but I can say that he doesn't speak English, and the statement can still be true. So this is an inductive argument. Let's look at number 91. Universal scientific statement raise problems of certainty for the empirical scientists. Explain why. So we are going to look at why the universal scientific statement raise problems of certainty for the empirical scientists. So this is it. So this is the explanation to this question. So universal scientific statement poses challenges for empirical scientists because they assert generalization that apply to all instances within a certain category or domain. This statement will be valuable for their breadth, okay, and can be difficult to verify with absolute certainty because empirical science relies on observation and experimentation, which are inherently limited. Certainty in empirical science is often elusive due to factors such as verifiability in natural phenomena, the possibility of unknown variables, and potential for future discoveries to challenge existing knowledge. So therefore, the empirical scientists must navigate the tension between the desire for universal statement and inherent uncertainty of empirical inquiry. That is it. Let's look at number 92. What is the hidden premise of the argument? No mother is male. No mother is male. Therefore, Kofi is not a mother. So which one is the hidden word? Which one is this one? We have solved this one already, so I won't waste time here. Let's move on. Let's move number 93. Assess the following argument. Whenever the clouds gather, it rain. Assess the following argument. Whenever the clouds gather, it rains. Whenever there is a thunder and lightning, it rains. Therefore, whenever the clouds, okay, so the question is incomplete question, okay. There was supposed to be some some final touches, but I don't know, but I think the question is not complete. But if something like this come, at least you know how the question is going, so you can analyze it at this moment, right? So the question is incomplete. Let's do a quiz 2. Let's do quiz 2. So drop it under the comment section if you know the answer. Let's move on. So construct an argument that is valid according to the pattern of modus tollens, which has the following universal statement and is the main premise: all planets orbit the sun. I have already given you a statement on this, so you didn't watch it from the beginning. You can just go back and check. I've already given you something. So if you want to know this now, please drop it let's drop it under the comment section. If you know, drop it under the comment section for me. Explain why the argument, number 94. Explain why the argument, most politicians are rich. My neighbor is a politician, so my neighbor is rich. It's an inductive argument. So you have to explain why this statement is an inductive argument. Now let's continue. Let's see. The statement, most politicians are rich. My neighbor is a politician, so my neighbor is rich. It's an inductive reasoning because it moves from what? A specific instances to a general what? Conclusion. It relies on the observation that most politicians are wealthy and applies this generalization to a specific case, namely the speaker's neighbors being what? A politician. However, the conclusion that the neighbor is rich is not necessarily guaranteed. Okay, and there may be expectations and generalizations. So therefore, the argument is inductive. And okay, so and rather than what? Deductive, it is what? Inductive. So that is it. He said that what? Most politicians. So if you see words like most, almost, these words are what? They are what? They are with exception. They are not what? They are not generalization. They are what? They are law-like hypothesis. They are what? They are what? Statistical hypothesis. With statistical hypothesis, they are with what? Exception. If I say all Ghanaians is what? A universal generalization or a general statement. Okay. So such statement, if you include everybody, it will be difficult for it to be what? To be an inductive argument. But if you say some, most, almost, you get it, 99%, it still becomes what? An inductive argument. Let's look at number 95. The following argument valid? Explain your answer. Either Ibra, so this is what we are coming. So the statement has been given here. Either Ibra 1 or Yao gave his food to the beggar. I have confirmed that Ibra gave the food to the beggar. So it follows that Yao did not give his food to the beggar. So this is what we call what? A disjunctive syllogism. It's a disjunctive syllogism. Okay, so it follows the disjunctive syllogism pattern. Either A or B, not A, therefore B. Okay, this is what the formula for the disjunctive syllogism. So are we good to go? Let's continue. Dash is what? Denying the consequent. It means that the same as what? When you say denying the consequent, let me teach you the formula. When you say something is denying the consequent, you know that the antecedent is what? The first statement. Okay, if I say all male are what? Smart. All male are smart. Male is what? The antecedent, and then the smart is what? The consequent. So if I say we should what? Deny the consequent is what? The smart. So I'll use somebody to represent this the smart here. So I'll rather say Yao is not smart. Do you get it? So here Yao is not smart. I've negated the what? The consequent. Okay, by denying the consequent, then I'll come up with my conclusion. That is all about the modus, how do you call it, the modus tollens. So this is what we call denying the consequent is what we call what? Modus tollens. Number 97, affirming the consequent is the same as what? A, modus tollens. B, fallacy of affirming the consequent. C, the same as modus ponens. D, the same as conditional sentence. And then E, none of the above. So this is what we call is the same as what? Fallacy of what? Affirming the consequent. It's fallacy of what? Affirming the consequent. So affirming the consequent is the same. If it affirms the antecedent, it is what? It is a modus ponens. Okay, but if it affirms the consequent, it becomes a fallacy. That is how the fallacies are. If it is supposed to deny the consequent and it denies the antecedent, it becomes a fallacy of denying the antecedent. Do you get it? The same thing applies to the hypothetical syllogisms, right? So let's proceed. Number 98, all A's are B's, all R's are B's, therefore all T's are R's. So this statement, which statement is this? Okay, so it's what? Not an argument. B, it is what? A false hypothetical syllogism. C is what? A hypothetical syllogism. And D, a general law. And E, none of the above. So this is what? This is a false hypothetical syllogism. Okay, this is not it's what? None of the above, because it says what? All A's are B's and all R's are B's. Therefore, therefore all T's are out. So this is so none of the above. It's not false hypothetical syllogism. Ignore it. It doesn't follow the formula for false hypothetical syllogism. It is what? An invalid syllogism. Okay. So let's move. Number 99. A law-like hypothesis has a high predictive power, okay, than a statistical hypothesis. True or false? So it is what? It is false. So it is what? A statistical hypothesis. So when you say law-like hypothesis have a predictive power than a statistical hypothesis, it is what? It is false. So because what? A statistical hypothesis typically involves generalizing from a sample to a population, which may not have the same predictive power as a law-like hypothesis that describes the regularities universally. So the statement is false. Number 100. Let's look at this one. So describe the claim. Okay, scientific statements are A, falsifiable, B, certain, D, all of the above, C is all of the above, D, pseudo hypothesis, and then none of the above. So scientific statements are what? They are falsifiable. They are falsifiable. That is what is valuable to the empirical scientist. Number 101. Which of the following fallacies does not what? Manipulate data? Which of the following fallacies does not manipulate data? A, pseudo precision. B, hasty generalization. So C, semi-attached figure, and all of the above. So fallacy that manipulate what? Data. They are what? Hasty generalization, semi-attached figure, and these are what? Fallacies that what? Manipulate data. So pseudo precision is what? A fallacy that change the subject. A fallacy that what? That change the subject. So it is what? The answer is what? Pseudo precision. Let's look at the number 102. When an argument is rejected on the basis of what? The nationality of the arguer, the fallacy is called dash committed. So which argument is committed here? If you reject something because of where it's coming from, it is what? Genetic fallacy. Genetic fallacy is where you reject something based on where it's coming from. You say that, oh, I don't like this phone because it's coming from China. It becomes what? A genetic fallacy. So it is what? A genetic fallacy. Let's look at number 112. Lawyers are brave, and all brave are intelligent. And all brave people are intelligent. Therefore, all lawyers are intelligent. This is what? An example of what? It's a what? A hypothetical syllogism. It's a hypothetical syllogism. Number 104. Either I go to the market or my mother will not cook today. I didn't go to the market, therefore my mother did not cook today. So this statement is what? It's a disjunctive syllogism. It's a disjunctive syllogism. Number 105. Validity is the quality of dash and not. So validity is what? Is a quality of a deductive argument and not inductive argument. Do you get it? It's a quality of what? A deductive argument and not inductive argument. 106. If you have a visa, then you can travel. This statement is dash. So this is what we call what? A sufficient cause. Okay, if you have a visa, yes, it is enough, but it is not only the visa that will help you to what? To travel, but other documents are also what? Needed. So this becomes what? A sufficient condition, right? A sufficient condition. Let's look at number 100 and the third quiz. Okay, the expression milk drinkers are turning to powder. Okay, it can be criticized as being what? A, too narrow, B, too vague, C, equivocal, and then D, ambiguous. So what is your view on this statement? Drop it under the comment section and let's see. Number 107. Anytime he sells his shoe, he eats rice and stew. He is not going to eat rice and stew today, so he has not what? Sold his shoes. So this statement is what? Denying the antecedent. That is what the statement. And 104. All level 400 students are writing this paper. All level 400 students who are writing this paper are wearing white shirt. Jojo is writing this paper and wearing a white shirt. So Jojo is a level 400 student. This is an example of what? This is what? None of the above. So the options is not hypothetical syllogism, neither is it disjunctive or denying the antecedent or modus ponens, but it is what? None of the above. Number 109. Either Either we are returning to New York today or we intend painting our room. We intend painting our room today, so we are not returning to New York today. This statement is what? A. Hypothetical syllogism. B. Disjunctive syllogism. So I won't go further. It is what? A disjunctive syllogism. Either, when you see statement that usually come with either this or either that, it is a disjunctive syllogism. Okay, let's move on. Number 110. All men in Accra are people who would like to ensure that the city is always clean. So all men in, so is this a particular statement or general statement? All men in Accra are people who would like to what? Ensure that the city is always clean. Can we count all the men in Accra here? Since we can't determine the number of people that are in Accra, it is what? A general statement. Number 111. Few Togolese are capable of speaking English. So few Togolese, is this a general statement or particular? This is what? A general statement. Somebody would think it is a particular statement, but it's not particular. Few people, how can you determine the few people in Togo? Since you can't determine the number of or the reference class in Togo, okay, or in the statement here, it becomes what? A general statement. Number 112. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday constitute the days of the week. So this is what we call what? A particular statement. This is a particular because we know the number of days here, which is what? 7 days. So it is, since we can identify the reference class, it is what? It is a particular statement. Number 113. Affirming the consequent is A. Syllogistic fallacy. B. Valid. So when affirming the antecedent, affirming the consequent is what? It's a syllogistic fallacy. If it would have the question, they would have put the question in this way, that affirming the affirming the antecedent, then you would have said that it is what? It is how do you call it? A syllogism. But this one is a syllogistic fallacy. Okay, affirming the what? The antecedent become modus what? Ponens. Affirming the antecedent, but affirming the consequent become a syllogism. That's how the syllogisms are. If you are to affirm the antecedent and you affirm the consequent, becomes it becomes a fallacy. Yes, that's how the fallacies are. Right. Let's look at this one. Let's look at number 114. Denying the consequent is dash. So denying the consequent, A is what? Syllogistic fallacy. B. Valid argument. C. An inductive argument. D. Unsound argument. And E. None of the above. So denying the consequent is what? None of the above. None of the above. So denying the consequent, it should have be what? Be how do you call it? A modus tollens. But there's no modus tollens here. Number 115. When an argument begs the question, then it means that it contains A. It contains too many questions. B. The word which is being defined is repeated in many parts. So it is what? Being repeated in the part and provides the meaning of the word. Okay, and C. The word, a word with what? A word which what has more than one meaning is found in all the parts. And then D. Syllogistic fallacy and none of the above. So the answer is what? B, which is called what? All the what? All the options. Okay, sorry. All the word which is being defined is repeated. Okay, in the part that provides what? The meaning of the word. So that is it. Let's look at number 116. Okay, so we are left with 2 more questions to end this session. Let's see if there is any tip or any new tip. I'll drop a video before the exams, but for now we are sticking to this. Okay, but if you are done watching this one and you have time, you check the part 4 and part 5. Okay, but if there is more time, I'll come with the last minute tip for you. Okay, so let's now see. So the episode 1, episode 2 are for the exams. This is episode what? Episode 2 for you, right? Okay, so let's so this is what? Episode 3 rather. This is episode 3, right? So I couldn't, but let's see if I can drop episode 4. 116. The last election was free and fair. We know this to be true since an electoral observance committee was sent up by the NGO based in the United States. So which kind of what fallacy is this? This is called what? This is what we call do we have a genetic? Yeah, genetic fallacy, which is D. It's genetic fallacy because of what, where the person is coming from. So it must be credible because of the no, or it must be fair because the person is coming from what, USA or the NGO. It is one, not true. Number 117. Okay, all zombies are fictitious. Avatar is not a zombie, therefore Avatar is not fictitious. So this is what if hypothetical syllogism, B disjunctive syllogism, C denying the antecedent, D modus ponens, and E none of the above. So the answer is what? None of the above. So this ends the discussion, and if you have not subscribed and shared this video, share it with your friends, and God bless you for watching. And if you want to support this channel each any way that you want to support us, your support will be appreciated. So there are some try questions that I couldn't really get time to solve, but God bless you for watching. Thank you for your time.